ファミリーコンピュータのスポーツコレクション。スタジアムの熱狂そのままにベースボール。多彩なテクニックで楽しむテニス。18ホールに挑戦するゴルフ。グラウンドいっぱいの熱戦サッカー。1人でも2人でも楽しめるファミリーコンピュータスポーツコレクション。 CGQ
All right, so today on the show, you might be surprised to see what game we're playing because the original baseball on the NES is a game that I know I have dragged many times on the show. I've said that it was the most hated game of my childhood, and when I said it, that's definitely how I felt about it. But for those that don't know, I'm kind of working on this video. It's probably going to be on the main channel. I haven't decided yet, but it's going to be all about baseball games on the Famicom. And how I got started making that video is a long story that I'm not going to tell. But you know, as part of that, I had to start playing the original Nintendo baseball. And actually, I will say this. I mean, the reason that I think that that's a cool and important topic to discuss is, you know, obviously baseball is America's pastime, maybe, but it's also, along with sumo wrestling, the most popular sport in Japan. And, you know, if you're a gamer of a certain age, like my age, you grew up playing a lot of baseball on the NES, at least if you're, you know, if you're American. If not, then this doesn't apply to you. But, you know, we really had an embarrassment of riches when it came to choices for baseball games we could play here compared to like hockey, football, and basketball and golf. And, you know, we really have the Japanese love for baseball to thank for that, because almost every baseball game we got here, not every baseball game, but almost, is a conversion or localization of a Japanese game. So that's why I thought it was a cool topic to explore. But as I said, you know, you can't talk about baseball on the Famicom without talking about the original baseball on the Famicom. And so I'm like, all right, let me play this freaking game. And I put it in. I started playing it more. I'll also say, you know, I read the chapter, or whatever you want to call it, of Jeremy Parish's NES works talking about the game. And, you know, he kind of goes over some of the details that game exhibits that had not been seen before, you know, on like Atari systems, for example. And, I mean, that stuff's true, but, you know, a good game that does not make. But, you know, I also played the game more, and I kind of shifted the way I play the game a little bit to play it more aggressively, as we'll talk about when I play the game. And, you know, while I'm sitting there playing it, thinking about how, like, wow, this game came out in 1983, you know, I couldn't help but just be maybe a little bit more impressed with it. And to be honest, I've been kind of playing it on and off for the last week or two, not because I need to for the show, but just because, you know, I'd be at work and I would just look forward to it. I'm going to go home and play some baseball. And yeah, I mean, I think I've also said this before. I feel this, you know, a lot of people won't agree with me when I say this, but for my personal tastes, let's say that, baseball games peaked on the NES for me. Like, that's not to say I don't enjoy playing baseball games on like the Genesis and Super Nintendo, PC Engine, Power League, and or we played, you know, World Stadium, you know, on the PC Engine a while back on the show. And, you know, lots of great baseball games on PlayStation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I feel like an NES baseball game like Baseball Stars, or Baseball Simulator 1000, they provide the level of control and strategy that I need to enjoy the game. And so I gravitate towards NES games when I just want to play a game of baseball. Now, I already told my story about baseball, but you know, I'm not going to assume that somebody watched a video that I made, 4 or 5 years ago or remembers it. So I'm just going to tell it again. Yeah. So about halfway through 5th grade, my family and I moved from like one extreme end of the city we lived in all the way over to the other side of town. And so it was a, medium-sized city. So I had to change schools. And, I talked about, it was an episode of Flashback. I don't remember which one, but, I talked about how somehow, I think it was like right after Christmas that we moved. And I felt like all of a sudden, this would have been like January, February of 88. All of a sudden, I felt like all these kids at schools had NES systems. Like when I got mine, it was October of 87. And I didn't know anybody that had an NES. And I don't recall hanging out with any kids at my old school for the remainder of, 1987 that had an NES. But it's like I went to this other school and, I just think a lot of kids got NES systems for Christmas that year. And so when I think about the time I spent at that school that we moved to, that's where, I made the video about having like video game friends and whatnot. And that was all there. But so the house we moved into, like directly across the street from us where we moved, was this like older couple, like, like retired, but maybe like newly retired. So like still in their 60s. And they were very nice people, but they had a grandson named Steven. And Steven, in my memory, it seems like he was there every weekend. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but my recollection, it felt like he would come over to his grandparents' house like maybe it was every Friday or every Saturday, and he would spend the night, one of those 2 days. And like me, he had an NES and he would bring it with him. And they had a spare bedroom, which I don't remember there even being a bed in that room. So I don't know if he slept in there or I'm not sure. All I remember about that room was that it had like either a counter or a high table against the wall. It was something that we had to sit in like stools, like bar stools rather than a normal chair, to be sitting at the right height to sit at this counter. And it had a little 13-inch color TV, and that's where Steven would plop down his NES. And to my recollection, he only had four games, which I only had probably 6. So, and one of those games, of course, was Super Mario Brothers, which we all had. And then he had John Elway's Quarterback, which I talked about on an episode of Flashback. Ghosts and Goblins, again, talked about it. And baseball. And we used to play those games, all 3 of those games, a lot. In fact, the only game of mine I remember us playing was Ikari Warriors, just because you could play 2-player co-op. And we played that, a bit. I remember the thing that sticks out in my mind about Ikari Warriors is, I remember going over there. We were playing 2-player. We were abusing the crap out of the Unlimited Continues cheat code, the ABBA, because we were just trying to like finish the game. Obviously we were cheating and we knew that. We didn't really care. We were like 10 or 11 years old, but we just wanted to see the whole game. And, that game was converted for the home by Micronics, who is like a famously sucky, can you even call them developers? All they did was convert games for other people. They didn't really develop anything themselves, but they made that game. It was really buggy. We got, towards the end of the game and it glitched out and we couldn't go any further. And that's probably the last time I really seriously tried to play Ikari Warriors, because I was kind of disgusted by that. But anyway, like I said, we used to play his copy of NES Baseball quite a bit. And it's funny, I don't actually have a copy of the game, which, maybe you would think, well, why would you? You hate it. But, a lot of the games I had when I was a kid that I hated, like Super Pitfall or Ikari Warriors, I still have copies of those games for like sentimental reasons. But I know I've had a copy of baseball before, but I don't have one now, although I have a Japanese copy. So, whatever. But, normally I would have it to like, hold up and show to the camera. This is Bases Loaded second season Japanese version. So nothing to do with the original baseball. But anyway, you can play the game 2-player, but I don't really remember us playing the game 2-player as much as we would just take turns playing against the computer, which I don't really know why we did that. but that's how he usually played the game. And I just remember that being like my first exposure to the idea of the computer cheating, or my friend Anthony calls it computer love, like the Kraftwerk song. Or people call it now like rubber band AI, but, I don't think there's a whole lot of AI going on with baseball. So, but, it's the idea that, you'd go into like the ninth inning with like an 8-run lead and you had no confidence that you were still going to win the game just because you had enough experience with, the computer coming back and, miraculously scoring like 11 runs in the ninth inning and beating you. So, I mean, that's what I think of when I think of the game. Now, one could easily say that because I wasn't comfortable being able to hold on to that lead, it probably made me play the game differently without realizing it. I can't remember if the pitcher in the game can get fatigued, because that's pretty standard in most baseball games where, if you throw too many, breaking balls and fastballs, the pitcher gets fatigued and then everything you throw is just like, a meatball over the plate. I don't remember if baseball works that way or not, because I guess I try to be more careful with the pitcher, because this game you can't bring in, as far as I remember, you can't bring in any kind of relief pitcher. So what else do I want to say about it? I don't think I need to say anything else about it until we start. We're just going to play some baseball. So the one thing I was going to say is maybe this is like real baseball or real sports in general. I mean, for sure in sports, there's an element of luck, right? You can have the best team in the league play the worst team in the league 10 times in a row. The best team is not going to beat the worst team all 10 times, right? Because it's the way the ball bounces or whatever else happens. And that ends up translating to video games because, at least to a certain extent, there must be some, I don't know if it's random number generators going on in the background, or I don't know how games work like this sort of on the inside. But all that is just to say that, like I loaded this game up and played it, I think the day before yesterday. And in the first inning, the computer player put like 6 runs up on the board in the first inning. So that might happen, or the opposite might happen. So I have no confidence at all that we're going to win this game. But anything else I could say about the game, I could say while we're playing it. So that's what we're going to do. Now, this game I'm playing over here on my CRT, so I'm turning the other way, whereas normally I have the game running on my monitor over here. So we're going to get it loaded up, and I have to move the microphone, and then we will switch the view over. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Get rid of that crap. Okay. I'm going to turn the sound up a little bit. Okay, so here's the 6 teams that you can choose from. This is like one of the only differences between the North American version of the game and the Japanese version. And the only other difference is, once we get into the game view, it says like bottom of the first, top of the second. And in the Japanese version, it just says that using like Japanese characters, as you might expect. But in the Japanese version of the game, it still has the 6 letters here for the 6 teams that you can play. But they're just, of course, Japanese teams. So you see like T for Tigers, G for Giants, the Japanese giant, like the Yomiuri Giants, and the Hanshin Tigers. Anyway, so here we have 6 teams that, according to what I read on the internet, are supposed to correspond to 6 Major League Baseball teams. And that's A for Athletics, C for Cardinals, D for Dodgers, P for Phillies, R for Royals, and Y for Yankees. But it doesn't say that in the manual that I saw, unless I missed it. And some of them, it's obvious, I think, if you look at like the color scheme of the Yankees, they're like black and white, or the Royals are like light blue and dark blue. But like the Athletics, it's like white and light blue or something like that, or white and dark. It doesn't, the A's are green, like green and gray. So anyway, I like playing this game with the Royals. I don't believe there's any difference. Like, it doesn't matter which team you play with because they don't have like stats. So it's just what color do you like, I guess. But so we're going to play against the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals back in the day used to have light blue and red uniforms. So you're going to see that when we load it up. And again, I'm going to be the Royals. So it's going to be light blue and dark blue. And you can see light blue and dark blue out in on defense there. So we are going to be, I guess that makes us the home team technically. And I think the game just randomly decides who bats first. And what else did I want to... A couple of things I wanted to point out. You know, one of the main complaints people have about this game is how slow the fielders are. And I mean, that is certainly a valid complaint. But if we get another ball into play, you can see what I'm talking about. But, you know, the outfielders, it's the same sprites. Like, the outfielders are the exact same size as all the other teams, all the other players on the field. But the outfielders, because of, you know, the angle of your view, the outfielders are covering a lot more ground, you know, when they're running for the ball. So, hey, strikeout. So it's not that they're running more slowly, you know, they're covering more ground, but because the sprites are the same size, it looks like they're running more slowly. Now, that being the case, oh my goodness, I thought I had him. All right. That being the case, you have no control over your fielding whatsoever. You might think you do because you're like, you know, manipulating the D-pad thinking you're chasing a ball down, but that's placebo effect because the computer is going to field the ball for you. And then the only choice you have is once the fielder picks up the ball, you can right away tell it where to throw the ball. And if you don't, then it'll just make the decision for you. And I mean, as you can hear, this is a pretty quiet game. And I mean, that kind of depends on, like, I guess, like, what do you want? That's a foul ball, right? Yeah. Your personal preference, because, like, if you go read reviews, strike two, of some baseball games that have, like, looping music that you can't turn off, then people will complain about that. It doesn't bother me only because if you ever, like, go on YouTube and look up, that's another strikeout, like, look up a video of, like, an actual Japanese, you know, an NPB baseball game, and there's music going throughout the whole game. It has, like, the atmosphere of, like, a soccer match elsewhere in the world where you have these people that come out with their instruments and, like, each team has their own fight songs and, like, they have, oh my goodness, that third baseman, you know, and, like, they have their whistles. And so I would say, like, if you play a game that has that looping music and it's annoying, you probably also wouldn't enjoy going to an actual NPB game because that's what it's going to sound like. So, but this game, again, has no music that plays during the game. And instead, I don't know. Oh, that's not good. Catch it, dude. No, of course not. Instead, as you can hear, it's like you have all the squeaky shoes of the players, which... you know, I don't know. That scored 2 runs, right? Yeah. I don't know what their deal was. You know, it wasn't just a Nintendo thing, but, you know, like, they're running on dirt and grass and their shoes are squeaking, you know, but, you know, if you play like Donkey Kong, like, it's the same thing, you know, Mario's shoes are all squeaky. I don't remember if the original Mario Brothers had squeaky shoes, but thank God Super Mario Brothers didn't. There we go. Like Bomberman, right? Because Corey just did that video about game hacks. Oh, please be foul. Thank God. And like somebody had hacked one of the Bomberman games to take out the shoe squeaking sound. So I don't know. I don't know what it was with Japanese game developers and shoe squeaking, but, you know, in the case of this game, come on. Full count. I mean, the only thing I can say is that, you know, if there wasn't the shoe squeaking, the game, ooh, that might be fair. Yeah, damn it. If it wasn't for the shoe squeaking, there would be hardly any noise. You know, I mean, now you can hear the crowd, but you don't normally hear the crowd. So, all right, now it's 5-0. I mean, listen, I might just get totally beaten down in this game. That's possible, but I don't get too worried about it just because you can end up doing the same thing back. So, you know, you end up having like hot innings or whatever. I can't believe he got that. Drinking Miller Lite, by the way, because I feel like that's appropriate for baseball. That's another up. Wasn't that there was that old Miller Lite commercial back in like the 80s where they were arguing about taste great versus less filling? Wasn't that Miller Lite? And wasn't that at a baseball game? So that 3 up and 3 down? Yep. You know what happened is after I uploaded that weekend rental John Madden Championship football game, my friend Fabian texted me and he says, "Oh, you're undefeated on your show playing sports games," and I think he jinxed me. Oh, I mean, it's the second inning. Let's calm down, but it's not going well. You know, I would say that the Cardinals' bats are hot. Because now I got runners at the corners with nobody out. But, you know, it's hard when you can't really feel the ball yourself. It takes, obviously, an element of control out of your hands. You know, whereas I like playing on defense normally with games. You know, because it's fun when you feel the ball and, you know, do it correctly. But here, it's just like, you know, you'll watch... Like, I mean, look, the first baseman just pulled a Bill Buckner and let the ball go right by him. And there's, you know, right now I'm just like an observer. There's nothing I can do until he picks up the ball. And now that just scored another run. But, so now it's what, 7-0. Yeah. Yeah, like how did he not catch that? See, same thing. It just went right by the first baseman. That's probably going to score 2 more. Yep, easy. Same thing. It went right by him again. I don't know. It's like the way the game is programmed. Like when the ball gets into play, the player, like the 3 basemen are just programmed to go back to their base, basically. You know, so you've got a shortstop that can stop things, but that's about it. And that's going to be another home run, I think. Wow, that one's leaving the park. All right. I hate doing this, but I feel like we have to reset the game and try again. Because I don't know what's going on, but I mean, the computer's on. We're not coming back from that. What are we going to be down now? What, 14-0? Yeah. So, let's restart. There's also this GameCube edition. I don't know what. I mean, I know what it is as far as where it came from, but I don't know if there's anything about it that's different. So, all right, you're going to be the Phillies, and I'm still going to be the Royals. And we're on defense again. Well, at least we held him to a single there. Once again. We're lucky that wasn't an inside the park home run. Oh, I should have thrown it home. That's my fault. Oh, wow. I didn't think we were going to get him. All right, you think you can grab that? See, the third baseman he runs to third instead of grabbing it's like he had to step over the ball to get there. It's funny because the whole point of me making this video is to try to make the argument that, hey, this game is better than you thought. Look, it just went right by the pitcher there. And this game is doing a really good job of proving me wrong. But hey, catcher, you want to go grab that? Wow. Well, we'll see what we can do here. All right, there we go. All right, now that we have a base runner, the way I like to play this game, I like to be really aggressive running the bases. Because I mean, you get a huge head. It's like, I'm basically doing like a hit and run. Like right there, I mean, that would have been a double play if I hadn't gotten the runner started. And unfortunately, the guy hitting the ball still got out, but we ended up better off. At least we advanced the runner. So. All right, so we scored it. We got one run back already, and I held the other guy at first just because it wasn't really worth the risk. One thing about the base running in this game is like if you've got a guy on first and you're trying to get him to go to second, like most games, you make it. Nope. You would hold the D-pad up towards second and hit B because you're basically choosing, here's the base I want you to run to, and B. But this game, and there's at least one other game that's like that, instead, you need to like tell it what runner you want. So you hold the button instead towards first to select the runner and then hit the B button to tell him to go. Nice. So, foul ball. So I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping this game settles in a little bit better. I don't know. The last one, I mean, is it just luck? I don't understand enough about how a game like this is programmed. So, but I just felt like if we would have kept playing, it would have been down like 30-0. And maybe it's those experiences that stick out in my mind, and that's why I've always hated this game. But, I think when you can get a good game going here, it's pretty enjoyable. Yeah. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, you know, is he gonna make it? Yeah, he's in there. You know, it goes both ways, right? Because like that should have been easily fielded to get me out at first, but you know, we ended up getting a triple out of it. You know, and if you want to say that was like a fielding error, I don't. It's just bad game design, I would say. Speaking of which, yeah, I think for a long time he kind of went uncredited, but Shigeru Miyamoto was heavily involved in the design of this game. Like I saw an interview. I didn't see I read the interview, and it came up in the interview. It was like an answer to one of the questions that he mentioned that he was involved with all of the launch games for the NES, or at least almost all the games, including baseball, right? Baseball was not a launch game in Japan. It came out in December of '83, but it was a launch game here in North America, and was actually, you know, one of the games that was sort of heavily used to promote the NES, just because they figured, you know, it's a lot easier to use a game like baseball to get American, you know, kids interested in a system versus a game like Balloon Fight or Clue Clue Land, which, I mean, those are awesome games, but I don't think you have that instant relatability that you have with something like baseball. And I mean, I read, I haven't seen any pictures of this, but like I read that, you know, Nintendo had like some professional baseball players. Oh, we got them. Look at that. Professional baseball players come out, you know, when they would do like the demonstrations at like FAO Schwartz in New York. I don't know which baseball players, but that was almost a really good hit. I swung too early. Oh, I should not have swung at that. So I don't know if that was a strike because it was a strike. I think with this game, if you even touch the A button to swing, like you can't check your swing. Like I barely moved the bat, but I think it calls it a strike no matter what. I think that would have been a ball if I had been able to lay off. See, and there you go again. The third baseman runs right by the ball to go to third base and cover the base, even though there are no runners heading in his direction. I think I should have gotten that call. It's interesting because, you know, you can't bring in a relief pitcher, but it seems like it's random whether or not your pitcher is right-handed or left-handed. Because you can see we got a left-handed pitcher now, but I think the last time I played, he was right-handed. So I appreciate handedness inclusivity. Foul again, right? Oh. Come on, run. All right, bases loaded and nobody out. So, I mean, knowing this game, there's no way we're getting out of this without getting our hair mussed a little bit. But let's try not to give up a home run at least. All right, so now we got one out. So now, you know, theoretically, we could get a double play to get out of this. Of course, it goes all the way to the wall, right past the guy's feet. That's going to score 2. You know, like if you could dive, you know, like that would be awesome. Same thing. Third baseman lets it go. You know, I believe the second baseball game released for the Famicom was what we got here as Bases Loaded. And, you know, it just had, it was so much more advanced than this as far as, you know, then like, you know, you controlled the fielders, you could slide, you had a lot more control over pitching. How did you not catch that? Like, it's like the ball went right through the sprite of the second baseman. All right, got a strikeout. Oh, nice. All right. I mean, it sucks being down 7-1, but all that does is set us up for the possibility of an epic comeback. See, he knows I'm going to run. See, now I got guys at first and third, so we leave the guy parked at third, and now I'm going to try to get the guy on first over to second. Oh, nice. Go, dude. Yeah, that's going to score 2, I think. Move. Yeah. All right. All right, see, we got 2 back already. All right. See, I like the computer. It's one of the things that the computer does that sucks for it, is it tried to throw the guy out at second instead of taking the obvious out at first, which is exactly what it should have done. You know, and now he got the bases loaded with 1 out, so. Oh, no. That had double play written all over it. Oh, that's not deep enough. That could fall in. It's not going to. Oh! Man, if I had run... That's a mental error right there. We scored 2 runs, but I should have sent all the runners. I mean, that would have been the 3rd out anyways. Oh well. But I mean, that's pretty good. We got back 4. I'll take that. Beer break. What? I mean, I'll take that, but it's very unrealistic. But I mean, I guess that's why you make the attempt, right? Oh, no, that's a home run. Hit the scoreboard. But hey, at least it was a solo shot. Oh, is that another one? No. Get it. Yeah. Well. Better than what I thought it was going to be. That's a foul. Yeah. Freaking catcher, like, don't get up. There you go. Well, if we only gave up 1 run every inning, we'd probably win the game. So. What? It was outside. Oh, I just swung a little bit too late. Too early, I suppose. That almost came out of the TV. Strike 2, though. Yeah, that's pop out. Unless it gets... Yeah. So that's another example. We should have been out, but lazy third baseman, I like how the umpire only shows up, like he appears like a genie, to make the call and then like disappears right away. Wait, what happened? Oh, because they both touched the same base. That's too bad. We had the chance to get something going right there. But, the safe thing to do, I had to send the lead runner back. But I sent him all the way back. And if you have 2... That's kind of interesting. That's kind of an esoteric baseball rule. You can't, if you have 2 runners on the same base, the lead runner's out. But then how'd the other guy get out? I don't know. Get him. I'll take it. I'm not sure I could have gotten the guy at first out if I had thrown it straight there, but that's what I should have done. And it's kind of funny that, you can throw the ball, as the pitcher, I can, I can throw it over to second if I want, like that. But I feel like the computer never tries to steal. Which is interesting because I play, so many of these Japanese games, as I may or may not have already mentioned, the base running is so aggressive. Stay on first, I think. Yeah. And, with this game, I feel like if you run aggressively, it definitely helps you. Yeah. But, the computer doesn't do it back. There you go, home run. So now it's a one-run game. So for those of you that are still watching, it's getting interesting. Although I still don't have a lot of faith that we're going to win this game. But I'm glad I'm not getting as embarrassed as I was with the first attempt. Oh, man. One right there. See, that should have been a beanball. Almost tied the game, but I'm thankful to just have another base runner. Oh, it's getting interesting. We take the lead. Wow. So I was trying to send the runner. He didn't go. How many runs have I scored this inning? I don't know. One more. I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier, though, is like it can happen to you and it can happen to the other team, That's not ever coming back. That's out of the park. I'll drink to that. 13-8. man. So you're right about now is when the computer wishes it had relief pitching to go to. But, you know, again, the same thing can easily happen to us. So this game is far from over, although that ball is over. Over the wall. So is that now 15-8? All right, there we go. Top of the 7th. But, you know, this gets back to what I was talking about earlier, which is like I have no confidence that, like, you know, I feel like most other games I played, I'd be like, okay, I think I did what I needed to do, that this game's over. But this game, I could lose the lead in this inning. That's not where I was trying to throw it. I feel like this pitcher is kind of washed. Oh, come on, double play. No. But I'll take it. You got it. You got it. You don't got it. Okay. Oh, he barely got back. That's a foul. All right. As Joe Buck would say, the Phillies are down to their final 6 outs. And I should have swung at that. That's going to go over his head, I think. Yeah. Run. All right. Like, as I keep saying, I don't feel comfortable with this lead, so I would love to tack on some more. Oh, I was close. Swung too early. Yeah, you better go back to... Yeah. There you go. That's going to score another one. He might not make it to second, though. Oh, barely. All right. 8-16. That beer's empty. Oh, get back. All right. That bounced in a weird way. Ooh. All right. Wow. I thought that pitcher was gassed, but he seems like he's all right. Like I said, I can't remember if this game has pitcher fatigue or not. I mean, that's my memory from being a kid, but that doesn't make it true. Run. Two outs. Oh, nice. All right, so bottom of the eighth, and then all they've got left is the top of the ninth. So that might fall in. Yeah. You make it? Oh, wow. All right. 18-8. Makes me think I shouldn't have reset the game the first time, huh? Oh, close. I still got him. Yeah. All right, that's it. Here we go. Can I not allow 10 runs or more to be scored in this inning? That might seem like a given, but trust me, it's not. Oh, well, this is going well so far. Foul ball. Strike two. Man, I would love to end this game on a strikeout. And I just did. Wow. 18-8. All right. Well, there you go. That's it. Yeah. That's NES Baseball. Is that better than You Don't Remember, or is that about par for the course? I don't know. I thought it was fun. Like I said, it makes me wish, maybe I should have stuck with it in the first game, but I mean, weren't we down like 13-0 or something? I mean, at some point you're just not coming back from that. But like I said, I just feel like I've gained sort of an appreciation for that game that I didn't used to have. I appreciate its simplicity. It is a little bit stupid, as far as the AI goes, which there's not a whole lot of AI going on. But it's a lot better than, if you play, like a baseball game on the Atari 2600 or something. This is a lot better than that. And if you bought an NES in 1985, that's what you had to compare it to, unless you had like a Commodore 64 or something and you were playing Hardball. If Hardball was out by then, and I don't know that it was. So anyway, that's it. That's going to do it for this episode of Weekend Rental. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.